Hi, everybody. My name is Eric with CineBlab.
I'm Chris with CineBlab, and we just watched The Watch.
So, The Watch is a 2012 science fiction movie starring, and we'll go through the cast here. I'm gonna peek behind me here. We got Jonah Hill.
Right.
From the Wolf of Wall Street fame, a lot of big movies. He's a huge actor now. Wasn't as big 10 years ago when this came out, but was still huge. Super bad.
He had that stint where he always got like the funny guy role. Yeah, in every movie.
He's kind of the butt of the joke in every movie. He's sort of the laughing stock, the sidekick.
He used to be.
It's less now, but during the super bad era, 2008 era.
He's one of the best ones we got right now.
This was a transition role for him, right? Yeah. See, in 2008, he was the fat friend, the high school student, right? 21 Jump Street. Yeah. And then he did this transition where he lost a lot of weight and he started taking on these more serious roles and started being part of these bigger ensembles, right? And so I think this was part of the transition phase of Jonah Hill's career, part of it. And 10 years ago, 2012 era was when he was, had a breakthrough, but was he going to be typecast or not? You know what I mean? And I'm happy with how this, kind of presented him in a different light, right? Yeah. We got Vince Vaughn, of course.
Oh, we can use this to try to, but I can't see them in the back, so I can't really.
I can't see them through the monitor. I'm going to turn my head around in the microphone. You can't pick it up.
Vince Vaughn as himself.
Pretty much.
Again.
The typical Vince Vaughn role was certainly had here. We got Ben Stiller in also a very typical Ben Stiller role, I have to say.
He's like the meek kind of, right?
He's the anxiety guy. He's the sensitive guy. He's the guy where things are going wrong, but he doesn't know how to tell everybody in his life what's going on, but he has to tell everybody, but he can't. He's that guy, in this movie. And then most interesting thing of all for me is the addition of Richard Ayoade right there. And he's a British actor, and I really love Richard Ayoade. I originally saw him in this show called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place a long time ago, which was really funny. There was only 6 episodes of it, but his delivery was like really, kind of nerdy and deadpan, but extremely funny. So he's the nerdy comedian guy in this movie.
For me, in this movie, he had the best lines.
Yes.
Yeah, he had the best lines.
He was probably the funniest person in the movie, and I think that his inclusion probably is the thing that makes this like not the typical buddy science fiction movie, and that's exactly what this is. This is a buddy, flick through and through. It's a bunch of guys hanging out, drinking beers, driving their car, blowing shit up. You know what I mean? You've seen this movie before, but you have never heard of The Watch.
In fact, the scene where they drive around and blow stuff up, that was the one thought I have. Like I've seen all this before so many times already. There was
absolutely nothing new presented in this movie that you have not seen before, and I kind of enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest. I'm middle of the road on this movie. When I first saw it, we were just actually thinking about which movie to watch today. We saw it in the list of
we do every time. We don't plan this.
The planning of these videos is not as elaborate and painstaking.
It goes like, what do you feel like? And we kind of throw a couple genres and like a couple moods up in the air, and then we jump a little bit till we kind of like fall.
Sometimes the excitement of the moment, draws you into watch a movie that you otherwise might not have.
Like The Watch.
Yes, like The Watch. So obviously The Watch referencing The Neighborhood Watch.
The Neighborhood Watch.
So I'm going to go, even though it's ridiculous, I'm going to explain the plot to this movie. So Ben Stiller works at Costco. He's a manager at Costco. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the night security watch is a guy named Antonio. And Antonio gets murdered while he's on the night watch. And so the police think that Ben Stiller's character did it. Mm. But Ben Stiller knows that that's not true. And so he's so affected by it that he announces to the community that he's forming a neighborhood watch to protect the community from Antonio's killer and to find justice for Antonio's killer. And so at the first meeting of the neighborhood watch, Vince Vaughn, Richard Ayoade, and
they're the only people that show up.
Jonah Hill show up. Only these 3 guys show up. and instantly they're buddies. And so they proceed to discover basically through a series of incidences that aliens exist, and aliens are underneath the Costco about to invade the planet Earth.
Like it's a series of completely coincidental events.
And I'm gonna throw a spoiler alert out here, and you'll allow a few seconds for the spoiler alert to sit in. Richard Ayoade's an alien. He's an alien.
Which the whole point of him being an alien was like an info dump, right?
Yeah,
so
like
I feel like him being an alien didn't play into the movie before or after.
No.
So it's like, I'm an alien. Here's our plan. Yeah. Now everybody's on the same page.
He's an alien who betrays the other aliens, and in exchange for betraying the aliens so that the humans can defeat the aliens, Richard Ayoade, who is an alien, just gets to live his life just like a normal guy. He pays taxes and shit. Like he's an alien, but like he goes to sex parties. And
he's one of us.
He literally does. I'm not joking. He goes to orgies. That's how he likes to spend his free time. And so, I guess like I'll get into something that I wanted to talk about when I was watching this movie is like the concept of gross out humor, or like potty humor, fart humor, dick jokes, all the cuss words, the genital words. This is reminiscent of like the Porky's and some of these like 70s and 80s kind of grindhouse movies, these exploitation type movies that had the nudity in them. And not saying that there's nudity in this movie, because there isn't, but there's like implied sexuality all throughout the movie. Yeah. So it's definitely not for kids. Obviously, this movie it's more for like young adults, basically college age kids. I would say is the audience here that like laugh at boobies and words like that. So there was a lot of that. Like for my taste, this was like a little bit like that Will Ferrell movie where he's naked running through the streets. What was that movie called? The Will.
Wait. I know that happens in Talladega Nights, right?
There's a different one where he's like he goes back to college and he tries out for a fraternity as an old man, like a 50-something-year-old man.
I've not seen it. Yeah.
Going Greek or something like Get to the Greek. It was something like that.
Wait, isn't Get Him to the Greek Jonah Hill and
wasn't it Will Ferrell
and Russell Brand?
Maybe, I don't know. I might be confusing movies here, but like. It's easy to do because this is a trope, a genre full of like. Cliches that are done over and over and over again. And so, I mean, like, the only real interesting thing about this was Richard Ayoade, honestly. Yeah. He's so funny.
Yeah, he was.
There was a few laugh out loud
His lines were really good.
I'm trying to remember one of the laugh out loud moments. It's like, this movie is very forgettable, which is why I don't think it succeeded. And I've never heard of it until now, is because it's forgettable. But there was a couple moments where I did laugh out loud, and I'm trying to remember what they were. And just jump in.
I know he had the line where when they're joining the Night's Watch, everybody presents themselves and like kind of what they hope from this, and his presentation is like the most normal compared to everybody else that went before him. His presentation is very normal. He's like, "Oh, my name is," I forgot his name.
Yeah.
And I'm here for the night watch or whatever.
Neighborhood watch.
The neighborhood watch. And Ben Stiller points out like, okay, that was.
Yeah, no, he's like, I'm here to learn more about my community.
Yeah, that was like something normal.
And then he sits down and he's like, okay, cool. I'm glad
you're here. Gets up and he was like, oh, by the way, I have this scenario, right?
Yeah.
Lone wife in her house being assaulted or whatever, and I come in and save her, and then she like licks my balls, which I thought that was the first instance of the movie where I thought, okay, this movie is supposed to be funny, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then Jonah Hill's like, I also would like that to happen to me. And they pay it off later because they find out that their creepy neighbors.
That's why he has to change her heart, really, and tells them about it.
Yeah. And so this is central to this movie's so stupid. I'm not being honest. This is a stupid movie. This movie was written by a fucking 2-year-old. I didn't see the credits to see who wrote this movie, but I guarantee whoever wrote this movie, they had their 2-year-old be like, hey man, I want you to think of something really funny. And he's like, poo poo fart fart, best friend find alien in Costco. I love it.
Something else I thought, when he tells him that they were trying to create like a signal that was going to contact their alien armada to come in, like and destroy Earth.
Yeah.
He said they had landed on Earth 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Like
so they've
scouts?
been in Costco this whole time.
And
now they killed Raimundo Guzman, was his name?
Antonio
Guzman. Yeah, no, they just killed
why
Antonio.
would they wait 6 months?
Yeah, they waited 6 months to murder Antonio.
And how did no one notice their landing? I mean, sure, I guess the sci-fi stuff doesn't need to make sense or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing I also want to mention is there's a very weak attempt in this movie to like give some backstory to each of the characters. And so I'm just going to touch on each of those for a second. Obviously, there's no backstory on Richard Ayoade's character because he's an alien, all right?
Yeah.
Ben Stiller, though, he's married and he's got a beautiful wife and they have a nice house and he has the job at the Costco and he's got a running club that he started and he's on the council of the city
board, right?
Of the city of Glenwood, Ohio.
And the Spanish club.
And the Spanish club. So he's a guy that his character habitually starts clubs so that he can make friends, but he actually does it so that he can have control over those friends. And so that he gets called out on being a control freak at some point and then grows and learns that he has to let go to let a friendship and a relationship thrive. Yeah. And then, he tells his wife that he's infertile because she wants a baby. And she's like, I forgive you. Let me help you kill the aliens. And so he resolves his issues. And then Vince Vaughn, his wife is gone, divorced or dead or something, but he's got a teenage daughter. And the daughter's getting old and she's about that age where she might, have a boyfriend. And he's mad dogging all her boyfriends. Turns out her boyfriend is an alien. He's an alien.
And I thought after he rescues her, I thought they were gonna have a moment,
tender moment where you get a daughter, father thing.
We have the back and forth where we pretend Jonah Hill's a dog, and I was like, okay, this is happening, I guess. Who wrote this?
I mean,
who's this for?
And then, you mentioned Jonah Hill. Let's talk about Jonah Hill's background.
Jonah Hill.
He's a loser again. He's a chunky loser who lives with his mom.
I think he has mental health problems, but it's always played for laughs.
He certainly is unable to live in the adult world properly. He has some emotional disturbance that causes him to act like a bit of a weirdo. So that's our crew. Basically, three kind of.
We have Will Forte playing the cop as a cop,
that was funny.
I felt was severely underutilized. How do you get from Will Forte in your movie? And
he's so funny, but they really didn't use him. The only funny thing he did the whole time was open his eyes really wide to stare them down to be like, I'm on to you guys. And the other funny thing he did was hit on the wife when he gets shot in the stomach, he's dying. And there's a big explosion and you're not sure if the heroes are dead or not. And he immediately talks to the wife and he's like, oh man, I'm sorry you're going through such a hard time. I'm single right now. And it was kind of funny.
No, he goes oh, your husband died, didn't he? And he immediately goes don't worry about it. You'll find someone else.
You'll find someone new. You're a great person. It was funny. It was funny, funny. But there are people
when the line he had with the skater kid, he was like, oh, I ride home? I was like, fuck no. Which I thought was hilarious.
So on the first night that the squad is put together, the neighborhood watch is put together, they get a phone call to tell them to come out to the high school, because of a disturbance, a noise disturbance. So they go to the high school and show up and they're looking around and then all of a sudden these lights get turned on and they get pelted with eggs by teenagers, hundreds of eggs hit them. Yeah. It's a prank.
Their first bonding
moment. Yeah. And so they chase down one of the kids and grab him and escort the kid back to the police department. And they're like, hey, this kid just egged us. And the police are like, okay. Yeah. And so they take the moment to get in the kid's face and grill him and be like, is it nice to throw eggs at people? Did you feel like a big man doing that? Well, I'm going to shove an egg up your butthole. Mm-hmm. And so it's obviously improvised, scenes where they're just trying different things. I bet they could have done that for half an hour. Just that scene of them in his face, making up different stuff to be able to cut in. Because that was a long scene.
Yeah.
It was longer than you'd expect them to be in this kid's face. In the police department.
How after when the cop accuses him, when he gets to Costco, right? The finale, he accuses them of having murdered Antonio Milbury, was the old man, something like that.
Yeah, there's an old guy that doesn't like them.
The kid also got killed by aliens. Yeah, they don't even give him a name.
He didn't even have a name. No, annoying skateboard kid.
Annoying skateboard kid, which I thought was funny.
It was funny.
There's moments acknowledge him as a person.
Yeah. It's funny. There's also a moment where they find this weapon. like a space weapon, and they have to like put their fingers, like they have to finger these holes, to make the space weapon explode.
They all have to finger the holes.
They all have to finger the holes together to make the space weapon explode. It's like a group finger.
And because the aliens, right, like their hands,
they have so many connections on their hands.
They have like 7 fingers, and like throughout their forearm, more fingers pop out. Yeah.
So an alien can do it easily, but a human, there has to be like 4 humans to fire this weapon. So anyway, it's stupid, and it makes things explode when they shoot. When they shoot with this weapon.
When they revealed that Richard was an alien, and we're like, oh, so he knew what the thing was, and he didn't say anything. But then at the finale as well, they're like, "Oh, do you know how to shut it down?" And he's like, "I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea how this works."
It looks very complicated. Actually.
He goes like, "Do you know how phone works?" Yeah. But still says yes, and then Jonah Hill goes like, "You punch in the numbers and you make a call." It's like that's not what he meant.
I did appreciate that a little bit.
That's not what he meant.
I wasn't such a big fan of the whole MacGuffin thing where there's this magical weapon that can explode anything, because of course they used it at the end to blow up all the aliens that were inside the Costco. They blew up the whole Costco with the space alien weapon.
In hindsight, I should have known.
Didn't think that could have happened.
I should have known in hindsight, like, obviously, like, this is how they're gonna save the day.
That's the thing about in every alien movie that's ever existed, the aliens have a critical weakness that allows the humans to defeat them. In like War of the Worlds, it was like water. In Signs, it was water. Like sometimes it's, I don't know.
I've never seen
sometimes
Signs,
it's oxygen. Like if you expose them to pure oxygen, they die.
Yeah.
Like there's always like some reason why the aliens die. And in this one, of course, it's their own space alien laser being used to obliterate them. They didn't even think that was a possibility.
I feel like if that ever happened, like probably disease, kind of like how it happened to the natives.
Yeah.
Like if they came here, like their bodies probably wouldn't be like fit.
I feel like aliens, if they're smart enough to traverse that distance in space, should be able to sort of like anticipate like all the different ways that we can die. What I mean? And like most of the time, it's stupid stuff. Like he sneezed. Mm-hmm. Turned out he never sneezed before. Now he's sneezing.
I remember that scary movie kind of poke fun at them, and where I think he hits an alien with a shovel, and he goes like, "Oh, I found the weakness, guys. They can't operate without a brain." It's like nothing can. Nothing can operate without a brain.
We should have done that movie.
Dude, we should. I had seen that movie since I was like a kid.
Oh man. I'm sorry. I need a minute to recover.
They don't work without their brains.
So I mean, there's not a lot for me to actually say about this movie, to be quite honest. Like none of the performances were like really that good, and so these are all like really good actors. But and the reason this movie is forgettable probably is like the writing or something like that. Like just something about this movie is off. The chemistry between the actors like clearly like wasn't there. It didn't like feel that or organic or like that compelling. Like I wasn't like really like that drawn into the friendship of the four, which happened like very suddenly, you know what I mean? Like it was always shaky with them leaving and getting it. Like it was, there was never really that much connection to the characters on like something like maybe The Hangover, where the relationships were established a little more strongly and you cared a little bit. So I think that's the biggest problem here again, is like the relationships and, just like wasted potential. Like all four of these people were really funny, but like the characters maybe just like weren't right for them or something, or just there wasn't enough originality there. Like Ben Stiller was the same Ben Stiller that we always get. Vince Vaughn was sort of like Vince Vaughn, like light, like diet Vince Vaughn, he was tame, you know what I mean? And Jonah Hill was like the same kind of dorky guy or whatever. He had like a couple like cool moments or whatever where he was threatening to kill some kids at a high school party with a knife or something like that's like kind of cool, but it's also kind of weird. Like he just wasn't like, his character wasn't cool enough in that. Like there's like a coolness to the character that he had in Superbad, where he was stealing beer to try to get with the girls, the glitter, the schlim.
I've seen Superbad.
Like there's like cool stuff that he does in this. And this one he's really nothing cool. He doesn't like move out from his mom's, and he doesn't like actually meet like a girl, because he's like a virgin.
He does end up getting like what he wanted to do, which was join the cops at the end.
He did become a police officer, at the end, which I guess is cool, whatever. But I didn't like his character. So like it's wasted potential. I don't necessarily know how to explain it other than that I know in different projects, each of these 4 have been hilarious and I've loved them. And you think if you bring these 4 together, it's like a powerhouse, like Ghostbusters or something like that. Yeah. But this was a little bit more Ghostbusters 2016 than 1983 or whatever. So I guess like my review of this is that it's just forgettable. I wanted to like it. I wanted to give it a chance. Like there's a couple laughs, but it's flat diet Coke. You know what I mean? And they've left it out in the sun for a few hours. It's not that appetizing. Yeah. It's not that refreshing. I give it a 4 out of 10.
It committed the cardinal sin. It's not good enough for me to talk about it being good. It's not bad enough for me to talk about it being bad. It's just middle of the road. Very average, regular. Like I think fundamentally the writing was what's like really failed this movie. Yeah, the writing wasn't strong because I think the performances were good. The actors are all right. I mean, they're good except Vince Vaughn. I don't like Vince Vaughn.
You don't like Vince? You think he was the weak point?
Not that I think he's like the weak point. It's like I have issue with any actor who stops acting. And just plays one character. Like I don't take to that at all. Like Ryan Reynolds is someone that comes to mind that does that all the time. And
like what's that? The free guy?
Yeah, he's like
his typical.
He's just Ryan. He just plays Ryan Reynolds as Ryan Reynolds in the Ryan Reynolds show. And it's like, dude, that's not acting. You're not becoming anybody. They're just playing you.
I kind of agree with you that Vince didn't really I don't think he dug for this performance or something like that. Like, he was just like that dude, and,
I wish there was more but it's just, there's really not much here.
There's like gags, there's where they have the same jackets and they're fighting over whether they want to have a logo of a giant all-seeing eye or a tiger with wings with flames all around it. And it's like, it's kind of funny.
I feel like the movie it fails to engage.
There's a part where they think they kill the alien, one of the killer aliens. And so they bring it back to the man cave to take pictures with the dead body. And so they're all taking party pictures with the dead body, like Weekend at Bernie's style, with this dead alien or whatever. And they're like, woo, and they're fucking flashing their ass. And it's like,
which I think that's like an oversight, because at the end we learn that their brains are located in their genitals.
Yeah.
So when he falls and snaps his neck, nothing should have happened.
Yeah.
Because his brain's in his junk.
You learn that later. And so he comes to life while they're taking pictures with his dead body, and he smashes and destroys the
But fundamentally, he shouldn't have even passed out in the first place.
He was playing coy to be able to trick them and kill them. And also, aliens know how to have the ball. Aliens know how to speak English, by the way.
Yeah.
Which was wow.
Did he know they had the ball? Was that it?
He stole the ball when he escaped.
Going to take the ball?
When he destroyed the man cave, he took the ball and jumped out the window.
Yeah, but so he passed out, so they would take him to the cave, so he would steal the ball back.
I think that was the reason he pretended to be passed out.
That was weird. But yeah,
let's just go with that. Like I don't want to think too hard about it. But
I would. I don't know. It was.
I don't know.
This is alright.
It wasn't the best bloody flick I've ever seen.
My favorite part was when it ended.
That's hard.
It's like I felt like I don't know. I felt like I was having a hard time caring. I don't remember any other names.
Yeah,
I only remember.
I remember Evan. Evan was the character.
Which was Evan?
Ben Stiller's character was Evan.
Oh, that was Evan. I remember maybe a couple lines from the movie.
Yeah, it's all
the plot is very it's very straightforward. Really, there's not
and it goes completely out the window. There's some moments where they try to be sneaky or spooky with jump scares. When the aliens coming at you in the shadows and stuff like that. And, There's some of those moments, but like it's not done that convincingly and like that, not that impressively, to be honest with you. Yeah, good moments for me.
What's the best part you consider? What was the best part for you in the movie?
Can I pass?
I mean, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the best part of the movie was.
So I asked it, and I went like, "Well, he answers. I'll think of mine, and then I'll answer." But I'm drawing blank too. Like
I don't think there was a best part of the movie. There's enjoyable parts of the movie.
Movie starts. We got the murder. We got the forming of the Night's Watch.
The Neighborhood Watch.
Yeah, the Neighborhood Watch. Keep saying the Night Watch.
Well, it all happens at night, so I can understand why you say that.
Yeah. But I think Night's Watch is from Game of Thrones.
No, Night Watch was Antonio's job. He was the Night Watch.
Oh, he was the Night Watch. That's true.
And the Costco connection, too.
So they get together. They have like their body movement. They go and stake out Costco.
Yeah.
Then they go get egg.
Eggs, yeah.
Then they're having the high moment that's when they hit the alien in the car.
Oh yeah, on the drive back from the police department after dropping the kid off.
Yeah, from Will Milbury threatens them with a shotgun.
That's right, and then they
hit
it, and then they
find the
object at the old man's farmhouse who hates them.
Then they all finger the ball.
And then they blow stuff up.
This is the first thing they do. They find this thing and put their fingers in it.
They find a truck and they blew up a truck.
Yeah, no, they blew up a cow.
Oh, they did destroy
a tractor. They blew up a cow and a tractor.
Yeah.
After that, they're in the man cave. What happens after the man cave? I feel like I lost track of that.
Yeah,
that's really not gonna lie.
Exactly. Remember
after they found the object,
the blaster. Yeah,
I kind of started like drifting in and out after that. I was like, not really even falling asleep. It was just hard. My attention span had dried out at that point.
Right.
The movie had done nothing to feed it.
There is a super lull in the pacing of this, where I stopped caring around that time too when the MacGuffin was introduced. The Super Bowl, they can blow stuff up. When they're starting to become friends with each other, maybe around the middle of the movie, and then it was kind of hard to get back on track after that. So the editing is a problem here too, right? Because it kind of drags a little bit, and there's even moments where they find out Richard Ayoade's an alien. He leaves the party for a while and comes back later a little bit, and that kind of affects the pacing where it's just the three of them together, and the relationship between the three of them is not as good when Richard Ayoade is off screen. He really makes a difference.
Also in the movie, that's where they have a moment where an incident where the group kind of disbands. Mm-hmm. And then we have Ben Stiller in that group of one.
Yeah.
That was the best line. Forgot his name again. Vince Vaughn had the whole movie.
Yeah.
And he was like, so how does it feel to be in a club of one? And that's the one Ben Stiller, that's when he runs to his house and tells his wife, I'm sterile. Mm-hmm. And then they very quickly, every time the movie had the chance, where it got to the point where it had a moment that was real. Yeah. Where
it gets interrupted really quickly.
And it's very condensed, very short, very there's no heart here.
I would say there's 2 or 3 moments where they tried to have an actual moment, but it gets interrupted immediately. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ben Stiller tells his wife he's infertile, and she says she loves him anyway. Richard Ayoade knocks on the door. We have to go right now. Yeah, immediately. Vince Vaughn rescues his daughter basically from almost getting assaulted by this teenage boy who we find out is actually an alien, and he's like, "Honey, well, we gotta go." He gets pulled away. Bye. Did Jonah Hill have a sweet tender moment? I don't think he did.
He had that thing with his mom.
Oh, where he told his mom trying to be a big boy?
Yeah, trying to look big.
Yeah,
trying to look big for my friends.
And then he kisses his mom and leaves. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of right. Yeah, every chance at real feeling in this movie is immediately obliterated. It's they're afraid of humanity in this movie.
It would have. I feel like it would have been to great benefit for the movie. Really,
they're afraid of humanity in this movie. Clearly, they're afraid of love. Yeah. They're afraid of everything.
Definitely felt like it needed something real, something that I, as an audience, could have grab onto and remember, like something that left an impression in me. But
I think they chose dick jokes over telling like a real story.
Yikes.
Like I really do think that like valuable screen time that could have went towards like something human was replaced with like oh, I love dick, I love cock and ball, come.